So yeah, Pete texted me today. I don't know if I told you about Pete, but I'll probably tell you about him sometime on the bus. What is like the background with him. But basically here is what the conversation went. It was like, I guess I texted him hello, and then he texted me back like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm shopping. Because this is the time, like, because we went shopping today. We went to the South County Mall to the border, so my sister could get like these books or whatever that she wanted. And so while we were doing that, he texted me. And then it wasn't anything like good or like special or anything like that. It was just that. And then like I remember we were texting about football, because he was like, when I asked him what he was doing, he was like watching TV, and I go, oh, what's on? And he's like, football, and I go, oh, it sounds boring. And then I don't know, I think he said kind of or something like that, but then like it ended up going to who was playing, and then he said like a place, and it ended up being the Saints. And I was like, oh, well, my family doesn't like the Saints, but I don't watch football, so I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. And then he goes, K. And he, like, and I text him back, I was like, short conversation, and he goes, yeah, and I go, new subject. We haven't talked since then. And, like, basically, like, well, it's frustrating to deal with, because if you know, like, the history with Pete, like, it's really messed up, and it's really, like, fucked up and like stupid, and I shouldn't even be talking to him, like, and like today, because I decided that if he didn't text me leading up to New Year's Eve, the first day of New Year's, I would delete his number from my phone and I'd be done with him, and I wouldn't ever talk to him again. Like, it would be over with, like, because like I didn't save his number in my phone. I have it because like the way my messaging is set up, it's like it'll have like the messages like in a row. Like, I can, if I have a conversation with you and then someone else, like, here, I can show you. It's this kind of setup, like, you see, like, and, like, his, like, this will be a separate conversation, this is a separate conversation, you know, like, all these are up or whatever, and, like, I had his number, like, there, like, that's why it was still in my phone, so I could, like, text him just in case, like, and, finally today, after that happened, I had decided that enough was enough, like, and, because he texted me on New Year's, and we had, like, a little conversation, and it was really stupid. He texted me, like, no, a couple times, like, in a row, and then I was just like, okay, you're stupid, and then that was when I was like, okay, yeah, this is where it starts going downhill with our, like, relationship. I was ready to get rid of his number, like, I was at that point. And so, like, our relationship was stressed as it was, and, like, I still had his number in my phone, so, like, if I really needed to, or if I really wanted to, like, I could text him, and, like, I don't know. I finally, like, after that happened, I was like, okay, I'm done, like, I'm sick of sitting here and still, like, communicating with you in a way that I don't want to deal with, because, like, the last thing that he texted me, before, like, I had, like, gone on this thing about, like, oh, well, if he doesn't text me, like, before New Year's, it was when I went on vacation. It wasn't even a vacation, it was when I went to go spend time with Tina, which was, like, my best friend. I don't know if I told you that. I don't think I did, but when I went to her family vacation, that we were texting, and then he had said to me that I overthought things, and that I was like, oh, well, okay, like, that's your own opinion, like, sorry you feel that way, but, you know, that's like sucks for you. And then after that, I was like, you can make time for me, I'm not going to make time for you, like, if you want to talk to me, you come text me, stuff like that, and, like, he didn't text me, and that was when I was like, well, if he doesn't text me, we're done, like, I'm not going back to this again, like, we're done. And so, he texted me today, and because he got, like, there's so much that, like, I could say about Pete, But, like, I'm not gonna mention it. I'll probably mention it in person, because, like, to me, like, even though it might not sound like a big thing, like, for me to acknowledge it and to say, like, this is what happened, and, like, that, you know, I like you, and it wasn't, I never even said I liked him, and, like, I never admitted that, I never said that, I said that I was attached to him, like, I had, like, an emotional connection, and for me to even admit that to anyone is a big thing for me, like, if you know, like, my past and, like, what has happened to me, and all this stuff, like, I don't ever admit that, like, you know, and so, after he texted me that, I got rid of his number, because I had locked messages in my phone just in case somehow I would erase the thread that had his messages in it. I could still have his number, because I have the option of deleting the locked messages when I delete the thread, but, like, that doesn't, like, it's a check mark, and it doesn't come up on my phone, like, unless I, like, hit it. So, I mean, his number would still be in my phone regardless. And today I was like, I'm done, like, this is it, and I got rid of it, I'm done. I don't know really what to think. Like, if he texts me back, I'm not mentioning it, because I don't want him to be like, well, you're just overthinking things. Like, I'm just dealing with it on my own in silence. Like, that's how it's gonna be, and that's how it's gonna stay, in silence. And where it goes from here, I don't know. If he ever texts me back, I don't care. It's not gonna affect me, I'm not gonna do anything, like, it's not gonna change what's happened between us, it's not gonna make me think differently of him. I'm like, yeah, I mean, because if you know what happened before, like, if you ever hear me make a reference to being small, pale, and ugly, then you'll know Pete. Like, you'll know, like, why I say it and where it comes from, because, like, that, like, it involves him, and, like, that's, yeah. So, I mean, it was a bad situation, it's still a bad situation, I really don't know, like, he probably thinks it's, like, no big deal, because, like, of course, like, it's Pete, and Pete is just, like, a dumbass. But I kept him around for that long, and it's, I don't know, like, I don't want to get rid of my phone, but, like, I want to forget him, like, I don't have his number anymore. Like, the thing that, like, makes me happy is because whenever he would text me, like, when he texts me, because I got rid of his number, like, when we first fought, and when he texted me back, I instantly knew his number, I knew what it was, and I remembered, like, the area code, like, I knew it. And today when he texted me, I looked at my phone, and I go, like, for a split second, I was like, who is this? Like, and then it clicked to me, like, oh, it's Pete, you know, and, like, for that, to me, like, that makes it simple, like, that shows me that, like, I can forget him, and that, like, I will forget him, and he's just another boy, and, like, because I've forgotten people before, like, this isn't the first time, but I guess it's the first time that I felt like it's hard to say. It was, like, the first time that I felt like he wanted me to, like, forget him. Oh, that's perfect. That, it was, like, he didn't want to text me, he didn't want to have conversations with me, he wanted me to go. And that, to me, that is what is so different for me. Because I've never really had someone be like that, unless I have had, like, I didn't like them either. Like, you know, like, it was always like, we both don't like each other, we both want to forget about each other, like, it was always that situation. But, like, to have it be, like, to have him show interest in me, and for him to admit that he likes me, and that he would date me in a heartbeat, and then for him to be like, we're done, like, boom, like, you overthink things, and we're just like, boom, it was different for me. And, like, there's a part of me that wants to say, I'm just overthinking things again, I'm just overthinking things, but there's, like, so many things that are, like, going through my mind that, like, prove to me that, like, I'm not overthinking things, like, and that's, like, when he texts me back, I'm not gonna mention it, like, I'm just gonna let it go, and I'm just gonna be like, it's whatever, and if he texts me again, I don't know if I'm gonna respond. I can't promise I'm gonna respond, I can't say that I'm not gonna respond, like, because I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's just, I guess it's just how I feel at the moment, whether I wanna pick up to him or not. And, like, he's called me, and we've had conversations on the phone, like, but of course, like, that's all in my history, like, And maybe one day I'll make a video for you, and I'll put it out for everyone to see. But yeah, that happened, and I was like, wow.